What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Daily Misfire. Hang on, give me a second. Alright, welcome back to the Daily Misfire. Today, we're going to be talking about some fun new news. I said new news. I'm sorry, it's like 1:30 in the morning. I had a little bit of camera issue, plus some schoolwork, plus some other stuff that I've been working on for you guys, and some other really cool things that I'm not going to be talking about right now, because we're talking about electric cars. My least favorite topic in the automotive world. So let's jump right into it. So, today, well, yesterday I guess, you guys will see this, a little bit later this afternoon or morning. Hot Rod Magazine unveiled that at SEMA, or before SEMA, that Project X is an electric car. Let that sink in a little bit. They decided to make a 1957 Chevrolet Bel Air an electric car. Not just any, though. They decided to make Project X, which is like a hallowed car for Hot Rod Magazine. I mean, that's one of their trophy cars, like on par with the Crusher Camaro and so many other cars that they have in their fleet. That one is like one of the top 5 cars that they have in their arsenal. But that's the car that they decided that they needed to turn into that. So, and I guess, you know what? If that's what they want to do, that's fine. That's totally their decision as a company to make that decision. I'm going to give my opinion on it, and I don't have a very high opinion of this situation for a number of reasons. The first one I'm going to go into is the fact that I think there's a lot of issues going on right now with electric cars, and I understand that there's a shift in that, and that's what the world wants to do because it's greener. And we all have our own different thoughts on that, and I'm not even going to get into that side. The issue that I have with that is and it goes a lot further than just cars, but higher industry officials making decisions on things and not listening to what is actually being said of the consumer. For example, I think on the 2 posts this morning or yesterday morning, which they posted it on November 1st, Monday morning. I think there was 2 comments that I saw of the 100 or 200 comments I read that were positive. The rest of them were negative, and I scrolled through the last couple reels and videos that they posted. I think that one had, less than 1,000 likes out of 3,000 views or something like that, and it had, and I think the video that they posted, that was just a normal video post, I think it had less than 2,000 likes, and their normal posts get 4, 5, 6,000 likes easy, and some of them even get more than that. So that right there should be an indicator, at least for me, that would be an indicator that maybe we didn't make the right decision. On top of the fact that you had people that were belittling Hot Rod Magazine for what they did. I mean, and partially me included, I more or less just, stated facts like I'm going to talk about now. But there are some people that were just, legitimately upset. That's, because Hot Rod Magazine has always been something that was fun for people to be able to, hot rods, literally Hot Rod Magazine. You get to go look at cool cars, engines, suspension information, cool builds, all that stuff. Not turning into a, haven for an electric car conversion. Which I get there's another, I think there's a 71 Roadrunner or something like that got a Tesla swap into it, which is totally fine. That's to each their own. And honestly, if Hot Rod Magazine wanted to build an electric car for SEMA, they should have picked another car. Just go pick a car. Any car. You could have taken any one that you had. There's so many cars that they have options to get. Go do that. Not pick Project X. Their argument here for it, and I can see their side of this as from what they're saying. I hear what they're saying, but for me it's not the correct line of thinking, because it's just once you get there's a step that's too far, and their thoughts along this were Project X has always been, it's an ongoing project. It never stops changing. They always are doing the new thing. It's always, looking for that next thing. But I'm sorry. I mean, the last iteration of it was a blown big block Chevy. If you're making an iteration of it that was like modern, it would have been a twin turbocharged LS. So I get that they're doing fuel injection stuff and all that stuff, and I'm totally cool with it being a blown big block Chevy, and I think that's what should be in that car. But it wasn't a pro touring car. It wasn't. I mean, that would have been the 2020s. I mean, that would have been that late 2018 to 2022 era, where it was twin turbo LSs, pro touring suspension. I mean, the hot rod stuff. That's the era that we're in right now. And I mean, if you wanted to build something that was that era, you should have done that. Or counter it, if you wanted to build something that everyone would like, Chevrolet decided to make a 632 big block Chevy crate motor. The largest crate motor Chevrolet's ever built. And I think it's any production engine, like mass production engine ever built as far as a car company like that. At least American car company. That's the largest, I think, engine that's ever been built for that kind of situation. That is awesome. It's freaking awesome. Why didn't Hot Rod Magazine decide, hey, you know what? Let's partner with Chevrolet for SEMA, put Project X together with that make it a blown big block 632 Chevrolet. That would have been sick. That would have been, you know what? It's the first car that it's been put in. It's supercharged. It's making, 1,800 horsepower. You know what? It could have been making 1,400 horsepower. You could have, underdriven it tremendously, and it still would have made, 1,400 horsepower. But it would have been the first supercharged. First, in any car, you could have done so much with it. But they wanted to do the electric car thing because that's what every other car manufacturer is doing. That's that upper tier of group of, car manufacturers, Motor Trend. I mean, that's that upper tier, and they were trying to hit that upper tier, leaving a lot of the, their actual fan base flowing the breeze, to basically go kick dirt. And I think that's a large majority of what's wrong with this whole situation, and with honestly a lot of things going on right now in our world, is there's a lot of higher ups that just don't listen. They don't listen to what people are actually saying and feeling and thinking, and they just do what they want to do and basically forego that whole situation. And not to mention the fact that, it's a magazine, so they rely on subscriptions and news and, advertising and all that stuff. Well, you just kicked a large proportion of your subscribers, you kicked them in the knee, and now they're upset, rightfully upset. I can't wait to see when the newspaper or the magazine comes out for the old guys that, don't have social media, or they don't have, that access, and they have, they get the magazine still, and they open up the page and they see Project X electric car, 50, or even just 57 Chevy electric car. That will be a very fun time for them, because I'm sure there's going to be a lot of subscriptions for the 75 and older, or 65 and older group at least. I'm joking, kind of. But not to mention the fact that, like I said, advertising. Who advertises for Hot Rod Magazine? Well, I have a couple over there I can go look through, but off the top of my head, Holly, FI Tech, Aeromotive fuel tanks, Edelbrock, Comp Cams, Iski, Enderly, Crower. That's hard to say. Again, it's 1:30 in the morning for me, so I apologize. I mean, Crower, Offenhauser. There's so many companies that are out there. Blueprint Motors, AFR, TrickFlow. I can name off hundreds of companies that rely on engine-based aftermarket performance parts for their companies to run. If they didn't have that, they wouldn't have a company. And for Hot Rod Magazine to do this is like kicking them and being like, well, we don't really care about you, we're just going to push you away. Like, I get that's your livelihood, but, it's okay. This is the future. We're going to, don't worry, we're going to cast you aside. We don't care. We just don't care. Sucks to be you. And they're unveiling it at SEMA. So, it'll be interesting to see the reception of the electric cars at SEMA, which I'm sure there's going to be a lot of guys that are like, yeah, that's the future, that's what we're doing, and I understand that. But you also have to understand the part, though, that, if you keep walking that path, what's the performance parts world going to look like in the next 10 years? You can't, swap out batteries. You can't get better batteries. There's going to be a certain point for electric cars that they're going to get there. That's going to be their spot. You can always put more boost to an engine. You can always do, at that point it's metal. Metal will fail at some point, but you can make your power. Top fuel cars make 10,000 horsepower up. Do they do it for very long? No, but they don't have to. Electric cars will never be able to get there. At least not in my lifetime, I don't think. It's just not a sustainable energy source right now for us. Not like how gas products are. And especially in the automotive world. Like the hot rodding world and stuff like that. There's a side that we just don't want it. Because, like I was mentioning before, I raced, I think last week, a Tesla at the track, and I lost to him. But it ran 11 something. The guy he put up like a 24 package, and I think his package was basically off of the light. I think he had like a 24 light or something like that, or like a 22 and he was like 2 thou off or something like that. Something stupid. But I didn't hear him. He didn't do a burnout. So that's the first part. He didn't do a burnout. Secondly, I never saw him. He didn't have his headlights on. Which I guess I don't have to have my headlights on either. But with him being an electric car, I never heard him. And being the faster car, I'm looking or hearing for him. Even with my helmet on, I can still hear them over my car because you can just hear them. That electric car, I couldn't hear. I couldn't see them because it was dark. It puts me at a major disadvantage because it's just, it puts you at an unfair spot to race. And I get that that's racing, and I totally get that, and we'll all adapt to it because that's what we gotta do. But if they have their own lane, that's one thing. But the fact that they're running with us now, there needs to be serious, thought about regulating more and looking at clearly what the electric car means for the automotive community, what we actually need to do, what it actually means. And I think Hot Rod Magazine shows that pretty well for us. And like I said, there's plenty of cars that, electric cars, I'm not against them. I don't appreciate them, but I'm not against them. If I'll never buy one purposefully. That's my 2 cents on it. It's just really frustrating to see that come out of somewhere like Hot Rod Magazine because, that's, Roadkill, Motor Trend on Demand, Engine Masters, Roadkill Garage, Hot Rod Garage. There's so many chapters of them, videos, shows that they've had that have been influential in so many of our lives. It's almost like, for lack of a better word, it's almost like seeing, your best friend who's always been a Chevy guy. You know what? I'm a Ford guy. Or, your Ford guy or a Mopar guy, deciding he's, someone else, or a Toyota guy. You're like, oh, okay, that's completely out of nowhere. You're just like, that's really cool. I didn't see that coming at all. And again, does it really make sense? That's the question that we have to ask. And for a lot of us, I don't think it makes sense for us. I don't know. It's a weird situation, and I'm tired of seeing the Jetsons mobiles, because there was a video I think I posted on my story after the Jetsons rollout of the Project X, which I kind of feel like is kind of a cover-up. They're trying to, it makes sounds. Look, it makes sounds. And I'm like, yeah, it sounds like a Jetsons car. I mean, cool. You might as well, go fire up, go fire up the Jetson mobile. Let's go. Is it a flying car next? Are we going to go to the Back to the Future? Where's my DeLorean? No. But, and then after that, there was a video, and someone posted, it was a 57 Chevy on a racetrack. I think it was a solid front axle car. It was at a racetrack, and it swapped pedals, and he, did his nice little burnout, and rolled it up pretty high, and that Project X will never be able to do that with the electric engine. You just won't. It'll spin the tires. You'll be able to spin the tires, but aside that, you're not going to do anything. It's not going to make any sound. It might run better. It might run better than the big block Chevy, which sucks to say, but it might. It's definitely going to be more consistent, at least when it's charged. But all I know is that if, we decide to go on a road trip, if, Hot Rod and I, let's go on a road trip. Nova and Project X cross country. Who's going to get there first? I'm just going to keep putting gas in my car. I might get, 15 miles a gallon, but I can stop at gas stations. It'll take me a couple minutes to fill up. I'm on my happy way. Then they got to go stop at a charging station. They got to go sit there for an hour or so. They got to roll out. You get range anxiety in a 57 Chevy. That's not fun. What's fun in that? You get, get to make sounds like an old hot rod does. Where's the fun in that? There's so many things that make cars, especially old cars, what they are. It's the sound, it's the smells, it's the, be able to work on them. It's all that stuff makes them what they are. And to do that to it just doesn't make any sense. So, I know for me, I'm going to keep my small block Chevy in my car. We're going to have some fun. We got some really cool stuff coming up for you guys on the next couple episodes of the Daily Misfire. We got some work on our C10s that we have. We ended up doing the last Sacramento Wednesday night. I ended up running that. I don't know if I have any video from that. I may or may not. I'm not sure. But I think I do. I have video of that. So we'll have a video of that coming up. We'll have a video of the C10s coming up. We'll have another video unveiling the 632 big block Chevy along with the 5.5 liter V8 that's in this new Z06 Corvette. We'll be talking about that next week on another Wednesday. Because I think we're going to start doing some tech Wednesdays, or we'll intertwine that somehow starting this week. So that being said, be sure to like and subscribe, please. We're trying to work our way up the YouTube rankings and try to help with, all that stuff. So with that being said, I'll see you guys on the next one. I'm going to go get some sleep because I'm about to pass out. So, see you guys.